Paperboy gotta go production.
That some viewers may find uncomfortable. Some of the topics spoken about in this podcast may not be suitable for children. Viewer discretion is advised.
Okay, we're here.
Hey,
Welcome to the Wheeze.
Oh my gosh.
With your hosts,
Laura.
and Libya. Hey.
Here's your weekly dose.
Right. Hey.
Today, we are going to have a special guest because we don't know if he's going to be here all the time, but he might be here all the time, so that's great. That's great news.
Right. He may or may not be here. He's a surprise.
Right.
So tune in to see if he comes for the next episode or not, you know?
Right.
You'll just have to stay tuned to find out.
Are y'all? Can y'all hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Sweet. So we're talking about the lady that was stuck in her couch, yeah?
She's melted to a couch. Melted.
We're talking about Couch Girl.
Yeah. So
Okay.
who took the notes on the situation? Was it you, Libby?
Yes. So I think we decided that I will read the story.
Stop. Are you not going to introduce yourself? Because we can introduce
Right.
ourselves.
He just comes in and starts like talking.
Sorry. I'm Glenn. I'm part of the Wheeze. Y'all guys should know us by now. I can't say the actual name because it's hard to pronounce. What Glitterusi?
Ruthie. It is now.
I don't know.
You don't know how to say your own name? Is
I don't
that? Okay. We've got it.
know.
That works.
Clint, whatever y'all want to call me.
Clint. Okay, is it so bad that I forgot your name is actually Clint from the group chat and I just Clunt automatically?
Right, it's always been Clunt.
Clint.
Don't even know my real name.
Okay.
Couch girl. So go ahead and read out the description, Libby.
The description. Okay, so the story is there was this girl. Okay, so where in this article should I read? Okay, because like I'm looking at yesterday.
Like, start out with like her name.
Okay,
Couch girl.
but like where Couch
We
girl,
call her Couch
like
girl.
her. Okay,
But
so
we're not a band camp trading stories here.
okay. The harrowing images. So this article is talking about images, but of Lacey Ellen Fletcher, is this girl found dead in her parents' couch in January, were shown by district attorney, whatever the hell his last name is, okay, to a grand jury in a sealed session last Monday. The pictures helped convince the jury to bring second-degree murder charges against the mother and father, Sheila and Clay. So what happened is these parents went on vacation and they left their daughter, who is, she has, it doesn't say anywhere in this article what she has, but she has a illness.
She was autistic, I remember.
She is autistic, but she has also this condition where she cannot move any of her muscles except for her eyes.
Oh,
Like, she can't even talk or anything. Like,
She can't talk.
She can't move.
So basically,
she can't move any of her muscles but her eyes.
So basically, she was an autistic vegetable.
Yeah. Okay.
Why do you gotta say it
An
like that?
autistic
That's
vegetable.
what she is. She's like that funny carrot that you find at the bottom of the bag.
Okay, wait. Article. Okay, so Lacey Fletcher, 36 years old, suffered from a rare neurological condition called locked-in syndrome, leaving her unable to move her muscles. Her corpse was found in her family home in the United States, in Louisiana, in a town called Slaughter. Okay, can we all note the name of the town?
Mm-hmm.
Slaughter. Okay,
Slaughter.
I thought you would find it funnier. Okay, I found it
We're
fucking hilarious.
talking about the noodles.
What
Okay.
about noodles?
He was taking a bite of noodles. Anyways, she was found in her home, partially naked, fused to a couch, covered in insects and her own bodily fluids.
Jesus.
Horrific photos show the feces covered furniture, which Lacey may have been confined 12 years, suffering from bed sores that went all the way. Yeah, 12 years. She sat there for 12 years.
How long did they go on vacation for?
Okay,
A
no,
weekend.
like, so a weekend, but
I know I was being a smart ass.
I know.
but anyways, suffering from bed sores that went all the way down to her bone.
God.
Right. The coroner, Bickham, Dr. Bickham here, told the Daily Mail the scene was so sickening and the most horrible thing he had ever seen in his life. It's unconscionable. Something you make. No, no, see, do I have to spell the word? Because I don't know. UNCONSCIONABLE. Something you make.
Welcome to the spelling bee.
Unconscionable.
There we go. Something you make horror movies about, he said. Okay. When the doctor arrived at the home, he described the stench emanating being so bad that it would almost run you out of the house. Okay, so like it smelled that bad, but like the parents were just chill with that smell.
Did the parents just like lock her in a fucking room or some shit? Like
she
how?
was in like a bedroom, yes.
Okay, but okay, this is my question that I'm wondering. So if she's if she's so with this the locked in syndrome, right?
Right, she's got the locked in syndrome, right?
How do they know she's autistic if she can't like talk and stuff?
Because she only developed it like I want to say like 20 years ago. She's 36.
Oh, okay.
She was autistic before that. She still is autistic.
She wasn't
had her whole life.
When they said locked in syndrome, I was thinking like she'd had it her whole life. So like they were just like she's autistic but she can't like talk or nothing. So, like,
Everybody's autistic. It's fine.
Everybody's autistic. But no, she hasn't had it her whole life. Anyways, immediately the coroner knew it was a potential crime scene and ruled the death as a homicide. The parents, Sheila, who is 64, and Clay, who is 65, were supposed to be the daughter's care providers. Despite her serious condition, Dr. Bickham said she had not been to a physician in 20 years. District Attorney said police were informed of Lacey's death on January 3rd by Mrs. Fletcher, who called 911. When officers arrived to the home, the couple did not have an explanation for what happened to her. While the pair have not yet been arrested, this was an article back in, I want to say, March or whatever. It said that the district attorney's office is to bring second-degree charges. But yeah.
So the parents just like fucking left her there.
They left her there by herself for the weekend because they wanted a little getaway, you know.
Left her without food, loads of
right, because she can't fucking move. So how is this?
How is
this bitch feeding herself?
No. Because they said that she had bed sores from like 12 years ago. So that means they fucking left her longer than 12 years. That longer than just a weekend.
Yeah,
right.
Okay. Wait, hold on.
Like, look,
they talked to a neighbor. To a neighbor, and the reporters talked to a neighbor. According to a neighbor, he last saw her outside of the house 6 years ago. So this woman has not left the house for 6 years.
Yeah. So pretty much the parents were just like, look.
And
that woman just like in the living room flipping coins, trying to figure out and just like, look, you're gonna have to take care of Patty.
But it gets even better. This poor woman, they left her to use this couch as a latrine. So she's shit and pissed on herself for 6 years straight, and it melted through the couch, and her bed sores got so bad, like it melted through her skin to the bone. While she was alive, she still had, like, those little maggots in her skin while she was alive.
Oh,
right. So
this
this
is really
poor
hard.
woman. And then the parents were all like, she wanted to be there. She didn't want to be moved. Bitch, it's a fucking vegetable. How is
Wait,
she?
What?
it's about to say. I was about to say, no, she can't even talk no more.
Anyway, like, blink
Like, what is she really
once
gonna
for
do? She can't move. She can't talk. Like, fucking move her yourself.
Unless they did like the blink once for yes and blink twice for no,
And
but then
so their excuse is that this little girl, when she was able to move, she was autistic, and she would just piss and shit on herself or on a blanket or towel in the middle of the floor, just on the floor in general. And so that's just what she liked to do. And so they figured that's what she liked to do. So why not let her do it as an adult? Like, what?
Nah, that's bad parenting. That you didn't take the time out to fucking teach your kid how to fucking use the bathroom.
Look, okay, I don't care if they're autistic and they poop and pee on themselves, because sometimes autistic kids are pretty bad, and
It happens. Literally, it happens.
And I say pretty bad as in like not like a horrible way, just like they can't control their actions and stuff. Because I mean, I've got a cousin who's autistic. You wouldn't be able to tell she's autistic now because she's like
right.
she has like a master's in her in like psychology and stuff. Has her own office and stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, like, there's like levels of
like,
autism and stuff.
Yeah, this kid I went to school with, his name was Spencer, and he was autistic. And like the thing he did was he would eat his sock, like his entire sock.
Sorry, Sam.
It's funny as shit because like they had extra socks for him in the dinner. So he would just fucking start eating a sock, and it was always the left one. And like it was just something that he did, and apparently,
like he would get like whole shoe off and like his sock off and just start eating it.
Yes,
like,
he would
eat it or chew on it.
No, eat it. Like he would like go to town on that bad boy like he was a goat.
He was a goat, he said.
And his name really isn't Spencer. I used a fake name because I'm not gonna put homeboy out there.
At least you came up with a fake name off the top of your head, because Laura and I would have just fucking
right,
ratted that motherfucker out. Like, goddamn Tom. Tom was a fucking strange motherfucker.
The thing is I like the dude, okay? Like, I mean, he was autistic, severely autistic. Like, he didn't graduate school until he was like in his 20s or something like that because he was in the special ed classes. But he was a chill dude. But he would literally be sitting in class with people and he'd just take his shoe off and eat his fucking sock. Right. So, but I mean, it's not like she was doing that. Yeah, she was pooping and peeing on herself. But like, you got to work with them to make them stop doing that. Because my cousin used to do that, and then her mom worked with her, and she stopped doing that. And now she has a fucking master's in psychology and talks to people about their problems for a living. So like, you got to work with them. I mean, you got to work. They should have worked with her up until she caught the disease, and then she turned into a vegetable. Because that must. Yeah, but I'm guessing they were probably on a code like blink once for no, blink twice for yes, or some shit like that, and be like, oh, she would always just say yes, and they would just ignore that no.
Right, but at some point you have to be. You're the caretaker, so at some point
you gotta take responsibility. No.
Yeah.
You can't just be like, oh well, she wanted to do that. Motherfucker, she is the literal term of a mattress right now. It's true.
Literal term of mattress.
Sorry, I just snorted a pickle up my nose.
She is the closest you could get to having a chair as a son. Okay.
But yeah. So that being said, let me go back to the other article that I was reading.
Because that's the one that talks about how because the parents like got out on bond and shit, didn't they?
Yeah, they got out on bond and stuff.
I just want to know how nobody visited their house. Like that's my thing.
Well, I mean, cases like this happen a whole lot more than you think they do. Because like
but still, so this family, this family was very well known with the town. The town is a small town, so small town, right? We all lived in one. So small town family's well known. Okay, so everybody knows about the daughter, and everybody's just like, oh yeah, we just haven't seen Lacey. And then like, you're telling me this family hasn't had anybody over in their house?
Well, like, but also we all know small towns too, and if she was super autistic, you know, sometimes small towns aren't as accepting as big towns, and so they could be like, oh, we haven't seen their old strange daughter for a while, but that's just what she does. Last time I seen her digging in the dirt and eating rocks.
But
you
like
know?
you know, no family has came over, like
No
caseworker.
family, no church members, no nurses, doctors, nothing.
Did they have the other family, or was it just them? I mean,
I don't know about that. We don't know that part, but they were very active in the church. The mother was like extremely active in the church. So no church members came over to their house.
well,
the woman's a vegetable, so, and they're obviously getting paid by the state for her. So no caseworkers have seen this woman.
We're talking about small town churches, guys. Okay.
Yeah, I live in a very small town, and people still go over to their other houses unannounced.
Look, I mean,
like the pastor.
It's over in Canada, though, where you're at. You know, in the South, you know, we've got cases of small town churches being like, we're going to perform an exorcism on Timmy because he's mildly retarded and the devil's got a hold of his soul. You know? So, I mean.
But, like, okay, not even the church.
Maybe an exorcism is what she needed.
From. Does it say where they're from?
Slaughter.
They're from Louisiana, Slaughter, Louisiana.
Okay. That explains it. They had some voodoo witch lady come over to their house. Some voodoo lady rub a mojo bone on her and said she's going to be fine. And then 6 years later, they haven't seen her because the mojo bone worked.
Okay, but caseworkers, come on. What about caseworkers? Fuck the mojo bones, okay? Fuck the church people.
No, I'm just saying, like, even like APS in the southern states, and I'm saying southern states, not just Texas, but other southern states, isn't really the greatest situation. Like,
well, I know adults, for those who don't know what APS is, isn't that great, but
yeah. Well, I'm just saying, because like
somebody, this woman's been disabled for 20 years, and she hasn't been to a doctor in 20 years.
Well, I mean, if the doctor diagnosed her with, what's it called? Lockdown? Locked in.
Yeah.
Lockdown.
Even locked down.
Yeah. If the doctor diagnosed her with that, then I mean, like, why else would you need to go to the doctor unless she's like having a heart attack or some shit? I'm not trying to.
She got COVID. At some point, she got COVID.
Well, see, and now, like I said, I'm not trying to defend these parents. No, I'm not trying to defend anybody on this. No, because these parents are terrible people. They are horrible monsters, and they deserve to get whatever comes to them.
Agreed.
Unless it's freedom. Like, we don't want freedom.
It's freedom. Fuck that. They don't deserve to be free. But anyway, so go ahead, Libby.
Okay. I lost what I was saying.
She got COVID.
Yeah, this woman got COVID. So
yeah,
this woman survived COVID without seeing a doctor at all. This woman whose immune system is probably already low because of her illness, right? Because she just sits in a fucking bed all day and she probably doesn't get the nutrients she needs. So her immune system's probably. I mean,
did she really survive COVID though? Like, let's be honest.
Well, did she survive COVID? She had COVID and she didn't die from COVID. Okay.
She died of starvation and other things, but
right.
But I mean, like, people saying someone died from COVID is kind of iffy at some days. You know, a guy got in a car wreck, he died of COVID.
Well, I mean, speaking of, like, I just saw that there was, like, I think it was like 300,000, 400,000 cases or whatever. And so now our state is being all extra and flying the flag at half staff because of all the people who died from COVID. But anyways,
I thought they said COVID was on its way out.
Well, you know,
news.
The governors are like, damn, 400,000 people. I don't know what the number was. I'm probably like making it way bigger than it was.
Well, I
But
mean, I'm sure that's because normally, now I'm not any conspiracy theorist. I know COVID exists. I've seen how bad it can get. My mom was in ICU and everything else. But I
Mhm.
kind of feel like some of the numbers that they shot out about COVID may have been a little elevated, you know, because I
I
know that,
agree, but to an extent, because if you look at some of like the reports that have been let out, right?
yeah,
Yeah, so some people like with like the people who have COPD, right? Breathing problems, right?
yeah,
They caught COVID and they died. And I mean, technically they died from COVID, right?
yeah, but it was mainly because they had breathing problems.
Because
Some,
they had shitty lungs, right? They
yeah,
had shitty lungs, but they
I mean,
wouldn't have died at that point in time if it wasn't for COVID.
yeah,
They
and
would
I
have
mean,
still kept picking up the wrong.
I get that, but I mean, like there was stuff that came out, like I think it was in Florida that some of the hospitals like reporting deaths for COVID, but it wasn't even there was no way that they were even COVID related or some shit. You know what I mean?
Uh,
Now that came out in the news. Now how reliable or how true that was, I don't know because I don't really trust the news any more than anything else because mainstream media just is shock and awe nowadays.
right.
So that's why I said. So I mean, I don't know. I feel like they're elevated. They've been elevated, but for all I know, it could have been the legit numbers, and I don't know.
Either way, either way.
Yeah.
It's a little late now. It's a little late in the game now for him to be flying the flag half staff. Is all I'm
Yeah.
saying.
Right.
Well, look, you live in the Mormon state, and I'm sure if we have any Mormon listeners, I'm sorry, but y'all's religion was it's kind of iffy.
This is how we get canceled. We're already getting
Right.
canceled.
Well, like the whole story is John Smith couldn't read or write, but then a guy, a magical seeing tablet that let him read stuff off the
Don't skip
tablet
out
out
the
of the
flag
hat.
Eagles.
Can we
What?
not religious shame, please?
I'm not shaming. I'm just saying it's kind of iffy. It could have happened.
It's kind of
A lot of
iffy.
religions, hey, a lot of religions are kind of iffy, okay? And a lot
Yeah,
of
Right.
the gods with those religions
all,
are kind
all,
of iffy, if we're being
all
honest.
religions are iffy. Like I'm not going to sit here and say that Christianity isn't iffy because it is. There's some stuff that happens in the
The
Bible that
Catholics touch on little boys, so I mean, we've all got problems, okay?
so that's what I'm saying. But what my whole thing was is he's just now flying the flag half staff. But I mean, normally Mormons are a little late to the game, anyways.
Oh,
Because
very true. We
they're
are.
just.
I say we are. I'm not Mormon, but
I was about to
Utah.
say you just lived
Utah
in.
is very late to the game.
You live in SLC, baby.
Uh,
um.
anyways,
So how did they know that this
so
bitch had COVID? How did they
I
know
don't know.
this?
In one of the reports, she had COVID. I have no idea.
If
Anyways,
she never went
um,
to the doctor, how did they know she had COVID?
I think she died and they did a bunch of tests. Obviously she died, but like they did a bunch of tests on
yeah,
her.
like she obviously had COVID at some point. You can tell from your blood.
Well, that's what I said. She had like the antibodies or whatever.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Anyways, Lacey, emaciated and caked in feces, appeared buried in a hole with cleaning wipes, nasal spray, talcum powder, and lotion bottles strewn around her, which were viewed photos late last week, which sadly we don't get to view the photos because they are too horrific for the public. Yeah, they're too
Well,
graphic for the public.
yeah, I'm sure they are. I mean, pretty much they left this girl on the couch for so long that she literally became a transformer.
Right. And the only photo we really get to see is of the couch and of it being like melted where she was like sitting, but like they blur it out, so it's not even worth looking up.
Yeah, because I had to look up the photo of the couch, but like the couch, I mean, I'm sure the spot that's blurred out is the terrible spot, but
Right,
mostly,
but most of it still looks like fucking horrific though, so
yeah. Well, I mean, actually, to me, most of the couch just looks like have you ever been to like an old person's house and you could tell people have sat on their couch way too much because it's super oily from skin? That's what the couch looked like to me.
right.
Now, the spot that's blurred out, everything, the spots that's blurred out, I'm sure are fucking horrible.
Right. Lacey was sunken into the sofa up to her shoulders, slumped on her left side with her right arm across her bony body by her neck. She was partially naked, and a blue patterned t-shirt over her chest did not cover her breasts. Her legs were crossed in a posture of a bid to survive. Lacey's eyes were wide open, and her open mouth revealed she had still had all of her front teeth. Her body had big red blotches. Her buttocks were eaten away from the last 12 years in the same position. Her excrement was over most of her body, including her hair and even in her ears. Like, ew. Then the coroner was like, when I was presenting the case and showed the pictures, I gave the timeline. The expressions of the grand jury was an utter shock. Like, the clock on the wall never moved again. He told the Daily Mail.
Well, I mean, yeah. So they went. Her legs were crossed in a bid to survive.
Right. So, like, she was just in the fetal position.
I thought she couldn't move, though.
Well, obviously, so she has locked-in syndrome, right?
Yeah.
So, obviously, maybe her body fell over at some point. But, like, I don't know how her arms were positioned and stuff. She can't move, but this is just what they said.
So was she sitting up or laying down?
So, when he found her, she was slumped on her left side with her right arm across her bony body by her neck, and she was partially naked in a blue pattern t-shirt.
That doesn't tell me. I don't know what that means.
Slumped on her left, she was laying down.
Hey.
There.
Podcast.
You're laying down there.
Slumped. Well, I read it to you. You have the same context as me, but how did I get to she was laying down from the word slumped? Do you not know what slumped is?
Slumped could be like whenever you're asleep in a chair and you lean forward, that's slumped.
Okay, well, she's slumped towards her left side, so she's laying on her left side.
Yeah, well, I mean, I guess she could be laying. What if she was just like leaning on her left side? I don't know.
Maybe she's leaning, but like that couch looks like a fucking gaping hole. So I figure she fell over at some point.
I was about to say the couch looked like she was laying.
She was knee deep to her. She was sunken to her shoulders.
Yeah.
That's
so,
not.
And so wait, so I mean, hold up. She was sunken to her shoulders. So she was sitting, okay, all the way down, right? And she was leaned to her left side because if she was sunken up to her shoulders.
Damn.
Right.
So she was sitting, so like, damn, like so like her, so like she was literally fetal position, but while she was sitting. That's fucking crazy.
Yeah. But then like she's swapped over to the left. Anyways.
Don't
But
understand.
she didn't want to be moved.
Right. She didn't want to be moved. But
Look here. Look here. They don't know that. They don't know that she didn't want to be moved. She couldn't talk. She was a vegetable. They're making shit up when they said, "Oh, she wanted to be there." You don't know. That's like saying the cake wants to be on the counter. You don't know.
What if the cake does want to be on the counter?
What?
What?
What'd you say?
I said, what if the cake does want to be on the counter?
Yeah, but you don't know that because the cake can't tell you.
Well, then the cake can move himself.
I mean, if my cake moves itself, if your cake moves itself, you got more issues than you need in your house.
Anyways,
I'm gonna leave my house. Thanks.
My house is slanted at an angle. That's why it moves by itself.
Right. It's just old. Leave it alone.
We don't talk about that. A few feet away from the sofa was a table cluttered with items that suggest the Fletchers had supplies to clean Lacey. Along with the wipes, nasal spray, and lotion bottles was a box with a lid and a child's photograph. To the right of the sofa was a gray commode. So they had a fucking toilet, okay? But this bitch was pissing and shitting in the couch with a pile of clothes neatly folded.
That means they were in there doing stuff while she was like, how can you stand the smell?
Exactly.
And I wonder who the child is in the box. Does it ever say who the child is in the box?
No, it never, just a box with a lid and a child's photograph. It never tells me who the child is, sadly.
It's kind of sad. Like, did this lady have a child?
Imagine this woman's 36 years old, right? Imagine this vegetable, because she became a vegetable like 20 years ago. So when she was 16, imagine this vegetable having to push out a child in a couch.
What if that's what gave her locked-in syndrome?
Let's find the baby of the couch lady.
The couch lady's baby.
I'm just saying,
Anyways,
what if she had the child, she got pregnant at 16, the parents were angry about it, they did an at-home birth, and then she got locked-in syndrome because it fucked up, and they put the child up for adoption.
oh, well, you should be the fucking lead investigator, Clint.
I seriously doubt that.
Head on to Louisiana.
That's reaching for straws. So.
I mean, it's reaching.
Who's the father of this kid? Is it the dad?
It could
That's
be
what
the
I want to
dad.
know.
Maybe.
The dad with the dead eyes.
I mean, it could be. That'd be kind of fucked
It's
up.
the South. It's Louisiana. Okay. It'd
be kind of fucked up, though. I wouldn't doubt it, though, because Louisiana's full of cartoon people who don't know how to talk right.
Anyways, a video recorded
We just
by...
go quiet.
Yeah, it's a fucking Daffy Duck cartoon down there. It's,
It is how we get canceled.
Right.
We're getting canceled.
A video recorded by the coroner shows... A video recorded by Pickham shows an 18-inch gap between the sofa and the wall with a wet patch he believes is urine. Okay? So he believes, like, there's an 18-inch gap with, like, a whole fucking wet patch. That's just piss. So it's so fucking, like...
On the wall?
No, on the
floor.
Yeah.
I thought it said there was an 18-inch patch of urine on the wall.
No, there's an 18-inch gap between the sofa and the couch. So there's 18 inches, so a little over a foot and a half between the couch and the wall.
Yeah.
On the floor, it's just completely soaked right there, and he believes it's urine.
How'd she pee over there, though?
It's soaked through the couch.
Oh.
Onto the floor.
And she's in the couch.
So
she's inside the couch pissing on the floor at this point.
No, that's what I was confused about, because I was like, okay, so there's a spot in between the couch and the wall.
Okay, so you know how, like, when you spill
I understand
water
that
on
it's
the floor?
Yeah, I understand that it's soaking through the couch now, but from the way that they read it, the way that it's written inside the article, it sounds like there's just that spot that's wet by the couch over there by the wall. And I'm like, so wait, so maybe she could move more than what they're thinking she could? She was like up on the couch pissing at that one spot like a dog?
Maybe she was. This girl, Lacey, she weighed 96 pounds when the police found her dead on January 3rd at her home in the small town of Slaughter. Sheila was released from East Feliciana Parish Jail on Tuesday night after posting a $300,000 bond, and her husband also walked free on Wednesday morning after posting the same amount. If convicted, the parents face a life sentence without parole.
What they deserve.
Exactly. And their first arraignment will be in 2 months, and their trial would more than likely begin in October.
Ooh, so we're gonna have to do an update.
Right. I'll just set my alarm or my reminder.
Right.
Question is, how did they have enough money to post bail? Like who just
how did they have $600,000?
Well, see, this is my thing. Okay. Well, wait, what was their bonds?
$300,000 each.
$300,000 each. So I mean, well, if it's anything like it is in Texas over in Louisiana, which I don't know what it is, it's always 10%. So that would still be $60,000 that they had to pop up. That they had to just come up off of, and then the bonding company takes care of the rest. Number one. Right. So who the fuck has that kind of money, number one? And number two, what if they use the bonding company? What bonding company is stupid enough to bond these people out? Like, I ain't about to bond nobody out on no $300,000 bond. Y'all crazy.
Right. Well, Sheila and her husband charged with second-degree murder. She was bonded out Tuesday night with her $300 bond, Clay spent another night in jail as his bond money was not arranged in time. After about 12 hours after his wife was released, Clay on Wednesday morning also walked free.
I bet you anything.
Right.
I know how this is gonna go. The wife is gonna turn on the husband for immunity so she don't go to prison.
Probably.
I guarantee you. And my thing is that they're charging him with second-degree murder, but I mean, I think that they could prove first degree because there has to be obvious intent not to take care of this young woman over this many years for this long. There's obvious intent not to take care of her.
Well, you know, the news people were outside when she got bailed out, and they were obviously asking her questions, right?
Punch the camera guy.
And
I said she punched the camera guy. I ain't answer no fucking questions.
Right. The mother merely stared when asked why her daughter, whose locked-in syndrome prevented muscle movement, remained on the sofa for a dozen years. Meanwhile, Clay emerged at 10:25 a.m. Wednesday after his $300,000 bond was sorted. Sheila, wearing a red shirt and blue pants, returned to the jail with the same bondsman to pick up her husband shortly after his release time. Clay, wearing black, also stared straight ahead and walked quickly into a pickup truck parked near the jail reception. He refused to comment. The parents were taken into custody Monday, blah, 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 blah. Lacey was found dead on the couch. She was partially naked and sitting upright, submerged in a hole surrounded by feces, urine, and insects. So she was sitting.
Yeah, so she was sitting upright.
Yeah.
And that's fucking gross. And so that's
the sheriff. The sheriff's only comment is that,
So this is pretty much the tale for right now.
Yeah.
Anyways,
So,
what was the sheriff gonna say?
Yeah.
Anyways, the sheriff, the only so far was that you can't just let someone rot away. And I was like, okay, well, thanks for saying what we're all thinking, sir.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
Sheila and Clay.
So.
Well, Sheila and Clay were described as respectable pillars of their community by local media. The mother served on Slaughter's board of aldermen working on local legislation for about 4 years and was an assistant to the city prosecutor in the nearby city. Clay was reportedly an officer for the nonprofit Baton Rouge Civil War Roundtable, which provides a nonpartisan atmosphere to educate and foster an appreciation for the sacrifices made by all during the Civil War, according to the website. The couple did not appear in court in Clinton when a grand jury charged them with second-degree murder and had not been seen since the news of their daughter's death broke in March. So it took fucking 3 months for the news of this bitch dying to get out.
So wait, what'd you say about the Civil War? They made contributions. What?
Anyways, Clay, the dad, was a officer for the nonprofit Baton Rouge Civil War Roundtable, which provides a nonpartisan atmosphere to educate and foster an appreciation for the sacrifices made by all during the Civil War.
Oh,
amen.
I was like, wait, what? Donating to the Civil War? What? I thought you said he was donating to the Civil War. I was like, kind of late for that, buddy. Shit.
The sheriff previously stated that the parents had no explanation after the mom called 911. The Fletcher's attorney stated previously that they don't want to relive the pain of losing a child through the media. They have been through a lot of heartache over the years. Anyone who has lost a child knows what it's like.
They've been through.
I was about to say, obviously you didn't give too much fucking shit about your child because you let her die. And
right.
And become fused to a couch. I mean, fuck.
Right. did you really lose a child, or did you just lose a check?
I mean, they probably lost the child, so I mean, they lost a child.
We don't know if that was Couch Girl's child. We need to quit saying that now because people are gonna
Why?
people are gonna take this shit serious and be like, she had a baby.
I want to know who's listening to us.
I don't know, but there's somebody. I'm pretty sure right now it's just crazy conspiracy theorists in their mom's basement. I knew it. Couch Girl's part of Pizzagate. It's all coming together.
Okay, so
It's the devil.
there's some more comments that have who's Travis? I don't know who Travis is, but this guy. Oh wait,
Was Travis the neighbor?
no. So Travis here is the sheriff. Travis, the sheriff. Okay.
Travis.
Right.
Travis is out here saying this article is just like Travis. So I'm like, oh, Travis.
I'm sure his last name's Travis because I'm sure they're gonna be like Sheriff Travis over here. Travis, but we just call him Travis.
Sheriff Jeffrey Travis is his name.
Fucking Jeffrey.
Anyways, he's out here saying you can't just let someone rot away.
Yeah.
It's difficult to imagine how someone could get in that condition without family or friends stepping in. Believe me, there would have been help available.
That's what all sheriffs say in times, though.
The parents could have contacted authorities and had Lacey committed where she could have been assisted, is what he says.
Yeah, well, I mean that's 100% true. But it's the same spiel that all sheriffs say. Like
the neighbors of the father and mother said they were not aware that the couple had a daughter.
Yeah, see, they kept the shit secret. I'm sure.
The Fletchers were reportedly respected and seen as pillars of the community. They arrested because they were not considered risk of fleeing.
Considered risk of fleeing, motherfucker.
Medics were on hand in the courtroom.
And they're gonna be up by Lori up in Canada somewhere.
Right.
They're gonna look for them the floor. Like, we're not them people, eh?
Anyway, so these pictures were apparently so bad that they had to have paramedics in the courtroom for the jurors.
Yeah. They do that actually on a lot of these types of cases and stuff. They do that quite a bit. Like with the case there was a case that we had down here. I'm not going to mention the lady's name, but she took the shotgun and shot her 2-year-old in the head with the shotgun. And in prison, which she deserved, because she still to this day said, I didn't kill my child. You picked the gun up and shot her. You killed her. I don't care if you were high or not. Anyway, when they had to show the crime scene photos of the situation with the little girl and everything in the courtroom, and they had paramedics in the courtroom, and then afterwards they had therapy available for the jurors because it was that horrible. Which they also had therapy when I was working at jail for all the jailers that were working when she came in, because the lady literally still had brain matter on her body.
Ooh. Sorry, I was burping, not vomiting, but
yeah, no, it was screwed to the max. So,
well, I personally want to see these photos. Personally, I
get on the jury. Get on there.
Like, I want to be like, fly me to Louisiana so I can be the 13th juror. Okay, we need 13. We need uneven, so there's not a lock-in. Okay, we need the tiebreaker. It will be me. Okay, 13. I just need to see.
You're gonna write a book.
The 13th juror.
The 13th juror. I'm tired of the spiels sheriffs say after they find situations like this, because all sheriffs say the same thing. There was help available, like when they caught all these serial killers killing all these hookers and stuff out on the street and everything. Like, there was help available for these people. Well, then why did it go for 37 years and this dude killed 412 hookers by strangling them with his own bootstraps? I mean,
Do you say hooch straps?
I said bootstraps.
Oh, boo.
You know, like I mean, and you know, it's scary, but stories like this happen more often than what you would think they do. Like there's a
Right.
there's a
Well, this
documentary you can watch on YouTube that's about
mhm.
feral children, right? I've watched the documentary, and the main documentary was about this girl. And I can talk about this because this wouldn't be able to be a whole podcast because it's like they only talk about the whole situation for 15 minutes. But she was a staggering case of how children being left alone without being raised by anybody, how they can never like have full brain function ever again. Like she was able to be able to talk and stuff, but she could never reach past a certain point of mental age. And it's because they were also in a small town. I don't remember what town it was. And like the people in the town didn't even know this guy had a daughter. And like she was left strapped to a potty chair. And she was like, when they
At
found her,
least
she was
this guy gave the person a potty, okay? Like, at least this
Right. At least she
person.
had a fucking potty chair.
the thing is that the girl was strapped. But when they found her, she was 16, I think, at the time they found her. She might have been older, but they all thought that she was like a 4-year-old child because she had been left in a room. All the windows were covered, no light coming in. She couldn't talk. She was just strapped in the potty chair, and she was not getting any kind of human contact at all. And this dude just left her in this room, and the family was there and everything. And then after they found the girl, the dude ended up killing himself. But they did all these studies on her, and she was able to start talking and stuff like that. You know, but cases like this happen way more than they fucking should. It's crazy.
Well, I mean, this case kind of reminds me of the fucking Gypsy Rose Blanchard, right? The whole medical neglect thing.
Yeah, but
But
but that was a different situation though, because the
but
mom
but
had Munchausen's
my
for.
thing is, it reminds me in it. How did this woman fool so many doctors, right? So how did this woman not like? How did they get away? Because they got money for her.
Yeah,
So how did they get away with it for so many years with no doctors looking at this woman? So this woman has a years.
because
But
APA sucks.
it's just like, what? I
Because
don't get it.
because our state and government funded things that are supposed to help people in crisis and need suck. They suck and they're terrible, and they don't normally help anybody or anything. CPS, APS, any kind of thing to deal with
But
the
my
government.
thing is like, yes, most of the time they do suck, but in general, where they suck is in the bigger cities because there's just not enough caseworkers.
Yeah.
But in
And
smaller towns, granted, like it's harder because not every small town has like specific caseworkers. They have to come from bigger cities. So I get that.
and
But
that's
small towns talk though. Like, how
yeah,
are these parents not pissed and shit? How are they such high
Right.
members of the community and nobody's noticed a single fucking thing?
I'm telling you, it's because of how small towns are, though. We all lived in small towns, and we all know, especially you should know for a fact too, Libby, because you lived in a small town in the South, just like I did, and you know how they can be. And if somebody doesn't quite fit, then it's kind of like they're an outcast and ostracized in the community. You know what I'm saying?
Right. But I feel like at some point somebody has to be like, this is a little morally wrong.
I
You would
mean,
think somebody.
true, but especially if these people are well pronounced in the community, it seems like they have a lot of money
I'm
and stuff.
not saying they got fucking Sloth from the Goonies up in their fucking basement. What's the
No,
Elephant
no,
Man? Whatever the fuck it is. Okay, like
no.
this isn't a secret. This is a bitch dying.
Yeah,
Okay.
but you know that they're a wealthy family, obviously, because they bonded out on $60,000 at a pop. They're very well known and high in their community. And as you know, in small towns, if you're wealthy, you're well known, you have a good name in the community, then you can pretty much get away with murder, and nobody's gonna ever really say
Okay,
that.
but like, how did they smell? How did they not like smell like their house?
Look, I
That's
know
what I'm saying. Like,
Well, Clun is basically saying everybody just turned an eye to it because they were rich and they were well-known members of the community. So everybody's all like, "Oh, damn, the Fletchers fucking stink," but that's just the Fletchers. We're not going to say anything about it.
I don't know about that.
Well, I'm just saying, in the South now, Lori, I know you won't understand because you live in Wisconsin, and if you watch any kind of documentary on Ed Gein, the whole family, the whole town was like okay with Ed Gein, except for the fact that he was just a little odd. He was just, I mean, it was kind of odd. He was odd. That's all they said until they found out, well, he was digging up dead bodies and making stuff out of the dead bodies. And the only thing that these people had a reaction to when hearing that was, oh, he did. Well, like I said, he was a little odd. You're from Wisconsin. Odd is what y'all do, okay?
Yeah.
In the South, it's different, though. In the South, it's different, though. If you have money and you're well known in your community, then, like, literally, you can pretty much get away with murder if you want to. Because most people,
I agree, yeah.
I mean, and not in every small town, but in a lot of communities in the South, it's like that, though. And most of the time, it's because they're like, we don't want to piss these people off because they own a bunch of stuff in town. And if we piss them off, then they may make it.
I mean, granted, it's the same way up there, though, because in Laura's small towns, like, they have people that own a lot of things. Like, one family that owns a lot of things. Like,
Yeah, but they're eating raw meat burgers up there. We don't count that, okay? Okay. They're eating raw meat burgers, and the only thing I say about
Listen, I was trying to offend you, but he got me with the raw meat burgers. I can't help you there. Y'all do me.
Look,
Do me.
the only thing that they could say about a man who literally made a belt out of nipples was that he was a little odd. Okay? I mean, think about it. Jeffrey Dahmer was from Wisconsin in a one-bedroom apartment, killing dudes and eating them. And nobody knew what was going on until the cops caught him. This dude literally had a man's head in his refrigerator, and nobody knew. He was working at a chocolate factory in Milwaukee, just chilling. And nobody suspected a thing.
Some people can, hide that shit. Look at that.
Right. Some people I guess people in Wisconsin know what the fuck they're doing, okay?
Right. Like, how you
I
gonna
guess
like
people
shit,
in
though?
Wisconsin just really don't give a fuck about their neighbors. I mean, because, like, I feel like small towns where I was at, everybody was, like, in everybody's business. Everybody knew everything.
Wisconsin, everybody's just a little odd. Every fucking serial killer that's from there, that's the same. They're a little, just like the Stephen Avery case. Oh, he's just a little odd. He was strange. I tell you what, he was just.
I feel like I really want to talk about that one because I feel like he's innocent. It wasn't him.
Okay, let's not talk about that right now. We're still talking about.
Oh, well, no. I feel like that's
no. We could talk. We could talk about old Stevie. It's fine. We could talk about Stevie.
I want to talk about Steve.
In a better episode.
Let's do next episode then.
Yeah, we can do him the next week because I have so many theories and I have so many.
I've already got the shit. I've already got it figured out.
Oh, well, save your theory for next episode.
I'm going to, but my theory is rock solid.
No one's gonna convince him otherwise.
I just want to know if you think he's innocent or not.
Right. Like, tell us. We don't need to know why you think what you think. Do you think he's innocent or no?
I think he's innocent on the murder part.
Uh-huh.
But I think that he knew what happened to that girl. And there's reasons why I think that have come out in the news.
Okay.
Anyways.
R.I.P. Lacey.
R.I.P. Lacey.
Rip Lacey. I need to know who the child in the box was.
We have so many questions.
Was there anything else inside the box, or was it just a picture of the child? Did it say
was just a picture with a child with a lid on it?
Okay, that was it though. I thought there was like a mention of a lock of hair or some shit in there.
No.
I think you just made that up.
I feel like he just wanted there to be a lock of hair.
Right. He wanted some voodoo shit to happen.
There's just something in my brain because that would have added even more questions.
Right.
Who
Because
who
that
was
would have made it more like whose baby was this if there was a lock of hair.
how old was the child in the picture? Did they say?
They didn't just, it said a child.
We need to see this picture of this child. We got to figure this out.
Well, you don't get to see the picture of the child because it's included with the couch and you can't see the fucking couch. Peace out, my dude. Like, what?
See you next week.
This has been the Wheeze. We will see y'all next week. Have a wonderful evening, day, whatever.
Have the day you deserve.
Bye.
If you're listening to our podcast, you probably don't deserve a very good one.
Exactly.
Anyways.
All right.
Bye.
Bye.
Adios.